And I'm going to start. So we basically expand double brackets first, and then whatever we get from that, we multiply the third pair of brackets with. My personal suggestion would be to generally start with the second and third pair of brackets. In general, that is what I would suggest. So basically what that means is we keep the x plus 4 in front. We just leave it without doing anything. And then that x plus 1 times x minus 2, we actually expand the brackets there to see what that gives us. Well, x times x gives us x squared. X times minus 2 gives us minus 2x. Then plus 1 times x gives us plus 1x, or just plus x. And then plus 1 times minus 2 is minus 2. But now notice that x minus 4 is what we need to multiply with this entire thing. So this entire thing now needs to go in brackets. And now inside the brackets, before we do anything else, we need to simplify this expression because we have minus 2x plus 1x. So let's go ahead and rewrite this. That first pair of brackets stays the same. We don't touch that at all. Now the second pair of brackets, now inside these brackets, we've got this x squared, and the minus 2 will stay the same. So the first and the last bit will stay exactly the same. But now the middle one, we've got minus 2x plus 1x, which leaves us with minus x. Great, so now we've expanded the double brackets here. And now notice we have double brackets again. It's just that we have 2 terms in the first pair of brackets and 3 terms in the second. So what we'll do is we'll just draw the little lines coming out of the terms, of each of the terms, which mean these lines mean multiplication. And then we'll do the same thing with the 4. So 3 arrows coming out of the 4, joining the term to those 3 terms in the second pair of brackets. So now let's go ahead and expand, see what all of these gives us. So x times x squared gives us x cubed. Then x times minus x will give us minus x squared, because x times x is x squared. And then we've got positive x times negative 2. So that's going to give us negative 2x. Now we'll move on to the terms which will start with 4 being multiplied with these. So positive 4 times x squared will give us positive 4x squared. Then we have positive 4 times negative x, which will give us negative 4x. And then last but not least, positive 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. So let's go ahead and put things in order. In general, we want to collect all the like terms we can collect and then kind of put them in descending order when it comes to the powers of x. So we want to start with this x cubed. There seems to be only one x cubed, so we'll just copy that. But now let's move on to the x squared terms. So here we've got minus x squared plus 4x squared. Let's quickly remember that minus x squared means minus 1x squared. There's an invisible minus 1 there. So that means minus 1 lot of x squared plus 4 lots of x squared will give us positive 3 lots of x squared. So we can write plus 3x squared. And now we can move on to minus 2x minus 4x. So minus 2. That's it, minus 6x. And then finally, we'll just copy that minus 8 there. So this is the final answer. So although it took a bit of time, we got there in the end. So keep this trick in mind. Multiplying the second and third pair of brackets firstly would be the best approach. The other approach works as well, but I wouldn't recommend it. I will say this is an alternative. I'll just very quickly show you roughly what it would look like if you did it that way, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. So after a bit of work, if you expand the brackets, you get x squared plus 5x plus 4. And then in the second pair of brackets, we get x minus 2. Now, the reason I don't like this so much is because people might get confused here, because you have to do x squared times that, x squared times that, then 5x times that, 5x times that, and then you have a third set of arrows coming out of the 4. So 4 times that and 4 times that. It would still give you the same result in the end, but because of this way of expressing it, of drawing these arrows here, I think it would be better to choose the other method. So instead of doing the first and second pair of brackets, starting with the second and third pair of brackets before moving on to the first one. In any case, that was pretty much it when it comes to the theory. Now, this is a topic which a lot of students find quite tricky because they get confused. they make a mistake in the many steps involved. So please just take it one step at a time. Be very careful with all the different signs and collect like terms everywhere. Don't forget, when you've got y plus 1 squared or something like that, you can either use the formula which we've seen before for a plus b and all of that squared, or you can think of it as y plus 1 times y plus 1. So write it down as 3 pairs of brackets. That is.
Sir.
Yes.
Can you explain again the multiplying 3 brackets? Because I didn't understand that.
So here, what we did is we had 3 pairs of brackets. 1, 2, 3. So the way we start, the trick here would be to start with brackets number 2 and number 3. So number 1 would just leave the same. I don't know if you can see here, this is x plus 4. It stays the same in the beginning. We don't touch that. But what we do is we just multiply 2 and 3, these 2 pairs of brackets together. So when you do that, the result you get here, you just put in 1 pair of brackets. So x plus 1 times x minus 2, if you expand this using expanding double brackets, you will put the result in here. So this would be the result. But then you will need to simplify this by collecting like terms. So these 2 middle terms will give you this middle term right here. And now it's quite easy to do. This is something we did in the previous lesson. You have 2 terms in this pair of brackets. You have 3 terms in this pair of brackets. You can just expand by multiplying everything with everything. So the 2 terms from the first pair of brackets with the 3 terms in the second pair of brackets will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms. And then you will just simplify it. You will collect all of the like terms you can collect, like all the x squareds. You can actually put them into 1 term, because minus 1x squared plus 4x squared simplifies. And the x's as well, you can collect like.
Sir.
Yes.
But there, when you first you do the x with, you multiply the x with the x, that is x squared. Then the x with the 2, that is minus 2x, right?
Yes, because x times minus 2 will give you minus 2x.
Then you add the 1x. That gives only negative x. Okay.
Yes. And then the positive 1 times negative 2 will give you negative 2. So what I recommend is you can have a go at the questions I've uploaded, because there you will get to the steps where you can actually figure out exactly how this works. And then if you do get stuck with any of this, just let me know. I'm going to be right here on the call. Let me just very quickly stop the recording.